So now that we've gotten that first Hunter's Guild quest out of the way, let's save the game before we move on in the story. Okay, so just showing where everyone is right now. Alice and Chaz, Connor at 13, Grizzle's at 14, Rika's at 12, as we now make our way into the tunnel to the next location. And there are quite a number of branching paths that we can take, and also the Zol slugs, and these provide a really great strategy for you to use if you're really looking to get some experience fast. I don't want Alice to attack. Just want to make sure I've got this balanced, because there's a reason for having two people attack two of the different slugs. You'll see why in a moment, hopefully. Yep, there it is. If two slugs are still on screen, they become one giant slug, and this can really work to your advantage if you want to get some experience fast. So I'm going to have everyone defend now, and the only person who's going to attack is Han, and he's going to be using Bull, and that's an instant death spell which always takes that thing out. And as you can see, that is pretty substantial experience right there. That giant slug alone was worth 400 experience points, and the little ones were 42 each, so if you do the math, it's 168 to 484, and as you can see, the results speak for themselves. Rika and Chaz both gain levels, and I'm going the wrong way. I want to get the chest first. And the other opposition in here are Spears, and just like everyone else, they want to attack Han and damage him severely. But we've got them out of the way. They're not as good an experience as the slugs were. And as always, we need to heal Han, because he needs it. And another opportunity for getting to take out just one slug. I only need 3 people to attack here, because if 2 successfully score, like there, it will be unlikely, highly unlikely, that 3 will be able to take out 2 slugs. So I'm gonna change up the strategy. Let's go back to using Bull for Han, and down it goes. And just like that, another 400 plus experience points. This is a really great strategy to use if you're new to this game. This is definitely one of the best strategies you can implement. So now, some spears again. That one goes by the wayside. And that one does too. Let's finish this one off. And there we go. So yeah, they're pretty good for experience in Masada as well. Not as good as the slugs, obviously. And here's the really interesting thing about this place, is that when there's always a branching path in this cave, you always want to take the one to the left if you want to keep advancing in this location. The paths to the right always take you to either dead end or treasure chests, and you just saw we got a Cure Peril. Let's cut these guys down again. And so far so good in here. And make sure we are leaving nothing behind. I believe that was the last branching path in here. And one more chance to get Gold Slug. Maybe we'll get another. House and Han defend. One slug gets killed off. Grizz doesn't have enough to kill the other, which means big slug time. Metal slug. Yeah, I should be using the correct names here, but it'll be dead by Han's Bull spell in a moment. There it goes. And Han gets rewarded. He gets an experience level. So that was pretty short, actually. So just gonna take the opportunity to point out that is not a crash site like it was back near Nalia, and neither was that one down at the bottom of the screen. No more spirits to contend with. Let's try to finish him off. Well, it turns out I only needed to do a single strike of Malice as Grizz gains a level. So now we have arrived at Kadary. There's not really much in this place except for one major landmark. What is it? Yep, that's right. Zio has a cathedral established here, since his fort is so nearby, and as you can see, people come from all over the place to do their thing and worship at the feet of these weird statues and other stuff as well. And as you can see, this person is quite enthusiastic about it. Gotta wonder if if they have diabetes or something, or if they're just having a sugar rush, and you wonder if and when they're gonna get to the point where they crash. Anyway, let's go inside. So, yeah, a lot of ominous looking stuff here. The girls have green hair, the guys have blue hair. Well, not all of them. There's this one guy who has white hair, obviously because he's very old. And so, a lot of these guys will just do talking in terms of glorifying Zio and what he's doing. And also, you want to pay attention to this girl with the green hair who's walking around. I want to try and see if I can get her to come back onto the screen here and stop hiding on me. Come on, stop hiding. Yeah, thank you. So, yeah, we're going to be encountering this particular individual again later. And as you can see, she came from the Motavia Academy and she does not like going to school. So what do you think about that, kids? We got someone like you who doesn't like going to school, but the weird thing is, instead of going to school, they come to church instead. Yeah, you want to try and figure that one out? So, finally I'll point out the big priest here who runs this particular cathedral, and he, of course, is singing the praises of Zio just like everyone else is. However, he's suddenly out like a light. So, I think we've wasted enough time in here, so let's move on. And just show you the building itself, because it is pretty impressive visually, but we all know it's just a giant building of evil. So there's one last thing I want to do before I leave Kadary. And, man, actually you can go around the perimeter of this town, and I believe it's in this building that's in... Yes, it is. Yeah, it's in this building where you can get an item, and it turns out to be a laser slasher, which is an improved weapon for Alice. So, 3 more attack points for her, we'll definitely take it. And of course, we're going to discard the old weapon. You know what, I might as well go and heal at the inn here. Yeah, I can afford to. I have over 13,000 Maseta. And as you can see, that's quite the big jump in price. It's already 200 Maseta at this stage in the game. And if you think that's bad, wait until we get to later in the game. So anyway, it's time for us to now make our way into Zio's fort. But before we do, we're going to save as always. And let's do this thing. Off to Zio's fort we go.